Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. President Obama announced today major changes on the immigration front. The president says effective immediately, the U.S. will stop deporting immigrants who came to the country as children and who meet certain guidelines.
It makes no sense to expel talented young people who, for all intents and purposes, are Americans. They've been raised as Americans, understand themselves to be part of this country. To expel these young people who want to staff our labs or start new businesses or defend our country simply because of the actions of their parents.
Meanwhile, Republicans spoke out against the Obama administration's plan. Presidential hopeful Mitt Romney says the new policy will make it harder to solve the country's larger immigration problems. But what does the president's plan contain exactly, and what are the people of Alabama saying about it? WVUA's Tommy Townsend with that part of our story.
President Obama's new policy will have an immediate effect on many in West Alabama and
Good
around
afternoon,
the country.
Everybody.
Essentially, the announcement today is based on a memorandum that was issued by the Department of Homeland Security. Essentially, it allows a certain very narrow group of individuals to apply for what's called deferred action and work authorization.
Now, before people can reach temporary legal status, there's a few criteria they have to meet. They had to have been brought to the U.S. before they were 16 years old, and they can't currently be over 30. They have to have some sort of education and contribute to society, and of course they cannot have any kind of criminal record. And local attorneys say the policy isn't permanent.
They will only get this deferred action for 2-year increments, and quite frankly, this is an administrative policy, so it could be, overturned by a later administration. That is always possible.
Dorothy McDade works with the Hispanic community every day, and
some of the activities that people have been involved.
She hopes this announcement is just a glimpse of good things to come.
For the most part, people will be happy because they probably wouldn't be if it was with something for the parents, but for the children, I think most people would give them a benefit of a doubt. Their adult life has been developed here. They didn't grow up in Mexico and come as, they don't have a home in Mexico. They've made their home here. I want to see an opportunity for them too.
For WVUA News, I'm Tommy Townsend.
And if you want an example of who this policy will affect, look no further than one teen story in our neighboring state of Georgia. She and her family legally immigrated from Uruguay 14 years ago, but they didn't leave when their papers expired. As Carrie Kavanaugh tells us, the teen says uprooting her life here would not be fair.
I'm not the only Hispanic that goes through this. Not a lot of people know the story.
18-year-old Paula de Lima Villafan says her story begins in Uruguay. Her family left the country 14 years ago in search of better opportunities in the United States.
It wasn't my decision to come here. I was 4 years old when I came here.
Her family immigrated legally, but their papers expired years ago. So Paula grew up in Gwinnett County, graduated from Duluth High School, and hoped to join the Navy to help pay for college.
I wanted to be a gym teacher for elementary school.
Plans changed after a fender bender in April. Paula was arrested for driving without a license and booked into the Gwinnett County Jail. The deportation process began. She was released in time to attend her prom and graduation. She reported back to Immigration, Customs and Enforcement for a scheduled hearing June 5th.
They actually told me that I had a removal, that I didn't have court, and that I had to stay so they can put an ankle monitor on me.
These are pictures of the electronic monitoring device she wore. They removed the monitor, but the clock is still ticking. She has to leave the country in August.
And to actually treat me like a criminal and chain me up and stuff like that, that hurt.
Student only. It's my fault. I need the consequence.
Paula's mother, Nydia, says the consequence for her is returning home with her 2 American-born sons. Paula doesn't know if she has any options, but wants her story heard so that the thousands of teens like her might have a different option someday.
We're bilingual. We're actually the future.
Well, time now to switch gears and talk about the weather. Let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. For that, here's Daniel Sparkman in tonight for Richard Scott. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, John, it turned out to be a really nice night out there across much of West Alabama. You see here on satellite radar, we did have a few showers move across the state this evening, but really there were no severe thunderstorms out there, so just a few showers across parts of our area. Right now, still 81 degrees in Tuscaloosa as well as Utah, 80 down in Livingston, Demopolis, 79 up in Birmingham, 78 in Fayette and in Jasper. Highs today got into the low 90s for much of West Alabama. Reform Fayette at 90, Tuscaloosa at 91, Demopolis at 89. And we want to take a quick look at tomorrow's temperatures. We'll see the mid-80s by noontime, mostly clear skies, hitting 90 for the afternoon high. John.
All right, Daniel, thank you very much. The new plaza is in the works at the University of Alabama. It will be a site dedicated to excellence in athletics, and it will bear the name of longtime Alabama gymnastics coach Sarah Patterson. Today, the University of Alabama Board of Trustees voted to name the new plaza the Sarah Patterson Champions Plaza. Throughout her 34 years as head coach, she's won 6 national championships for UA. The new plaza will be located in front of Coleman Coliseum and will cost around $2.8 million.
From our first NCAA championship back in 1988, when people asked me what it was like, I mean, just to play a small role in that, and this is probably more of an honor than I could ever have envisioned.
Officials say the plaza is expected to be completed by next spring. Now, earlier today, I had the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with Athletics Director Mal Moore. Here's what he had to say about today's announcement. Speaking of the Board of Trustees this morning, they approved the Sarah Patterson Champion Plaza. Just tell me a little bit about how that came about.
I think we came down with a very, very nice plaza that people will enjoy, and it represents every team and their success in past years, the success they're enjoying now, and what they will enjoy in future years, where people can see that, enjoy it, and appreciate it. Coaches that win the national championship, there will be an area where they are recognized, and so we're very proud and very pleased how this has turned out, and it will be named for Coach Sarah Patterson, and simply because of the great success and the contributions that Sarah has made to this university, to this athletic department through the years, with just high success year after year after year.
You know what it takes to win a championship, and she's won 6 of them. To be as dominant as she has been for as long as she has been, talk to that and how hard that is to do.
Well, I think that's one of the most difficult, is getting a program to the top and winning the championship, but then staying there year in, year out. And that is, in any sport, that's very difficult.
And that was just part of our sit-down interview with Coach Moore. You can see more of it Thursday, June 28th. He talks with me about his legacy, his relationship with Coach Saban, the growth of the athletic department, and how much longer he thinks he'll stay on the job. Again, the full interview airs Thursday, June 28th, right here on WVUA News at 10. Friends and family are searching for answers after a loved one was found dead. It was over 3 months ago in Baldwin County, but a group of people in Tuscaloosa are joining others from across the state in a march today at the Fairhope County Courthouse to ask for more information. Hannah Kate Rogers was 24 years old when she was found dead from a gunshot wound on March 10th of this year. For family and friends, the traumatic experience of losing Hannah was devastating, but the lack of further information has made it even harder. That's why they formed Justice for Hannah. Using social networking, they hope to create awareness about Hannah's legacy and encourage those with information to come forward.
This is a very, very tragic thing that has happened to her and also everyone involved. It's a tough time, and anyone going through this, I would just, my heart is with you, because I know now a lot of things that I did not know before, how hard it is and how much I've grown through this situation. I mean, Hannah would be pleased. Hannah would be pleased that we are searching for answers and that justice will be served.
For more information on the case, visit whathappenedtohannah.com.